Preaching you're doing tonight.
I'm in the wrong mode, aren't I?
A long mayor's report.
Good evening. We will start the Hawarden, Iowa City Council at 5:30 on Wednesday, May the 26th, 2021. All present are council and staff other than Travis, who's at a meeting. So pretty short agenda item, but information that we need to get through tonight. We'll start with agenda item number 1A, approval of the May 12th, 2021 City Council meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
So second.
Moved by John, seconded by Travis. All in favor of the City Council meeting minutes for May 12th, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, that passes 5-0. Next, we start for claims for payments for May 26th. I'll start to my left with Rob for questions.
No questions.
Okay, Jen, any questions?
No questions.
John?
None, thank you.
Travis?
None, thank you.
Tim?
None. So moved.
There's been a motion by Tim. Is there a second?
A second.
Seconded by Jen. All in favor of the claims for payment, say aye.
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 Abstain.
Opposed? There's passes 4 with 1 abstention by Travis. Open business from the community. I think, Brad, you're going to talk a little bit later with us on number 3, and Eric, you're usually pretty quiet. Okay. Now to move on to the mayor's report. I had the opportunity to meet with Wes Fopma. He's the area representative of Congressman Randy Feenstra. It was good to meet with him personally and get a connection to him in his office. So he makes his home in Sioux Center, so he's available at any time for city things there. It was EMS week, and we thank all of those that volunteer their time, and to our director, Jeff Nohava. Thank them for their dedication to our community and the quality of service that they provide to those in need. Yesterday was an opportunity for the public to go through the elementary schools in Ireton and Hawarden, and also the middle school, high school in Hawarden. Our school district is developing plans for building and upgrades with a vote for a bond issue in the near future. So I urge you to take the time to see for yourself the needs of our schools. Our students' needs and quality educational opportunities to all students is vital for our communities. Our community will have a Memorial Day presentation at 10 a.m. on Monday at Grace Hill Cemetery. Memorial Day, you may know, originally known as Decoration Day, originated in the years after the Civil War, becoming an official holiday in 1971. This holiday honors those men and women who died while serving in the military. Senator John Thune is quoted as saying, "I believe our flag is more than just cloth and ink. It is a universally recognized symbol that stands for liberty and freedom. It is the history of our nation, and it's marked by the blood of those who died defending it." So please take the opportunity to bring your family to the Memorial Day program and join others in honoring our deceased veterans. I was not able to be at our last city council meeting our last meeting for the city council, which was Larry Cope's last meeting as our economic community director. I wanted to publicly thank Larry for all of his great work for our city and wish for him and his wife Kim the best in their future endeavors. And lastly, congratulations to Emily Halsoff, the West Sioux golf team person making the state golf tournament. So that's quite impressive for her. Last year unable to do with COVID, so we wish her the best of luck. We'll move next to staff reports. I will ask Corey if you have anything to say.
Not too much. We're going strong on nuisance abatements yet. And I think we've done just under 100 right now so far and covered most of the town. And only 1 citation so far, so hopefully we can get some more compliance and not have to issue any more tickets.
Thank you for your work with that. We hope you don't have to also. Anything for Mr. Pickner?
Yes.
Oh, we're sitting. Go ahead.
I had a realtor call me. We had another one of these mortgages show up. He called me about 4 o'clock. Wants to close next week. This one is from 2005, so it was forgiven or should have been forgiven in 2010. So what I'd like to do is see if you guys would amend the agenda to add another item and have that item be to authorize the mayor and the city administrator to release these old mortgages when their time has passed without further authority from the council. That would include this one as well as when they keep popping up. So that's it for me.
And do you wish for that then to be amended for tonight's meeting?
Yes, I'd like to put it on as item 8 so they can close their, or I guess 7.5, so they can record their, or close their real estate deal next week.
Okay, let us get through the other reports and we'll go to that recommendation. Jacob?
Just finishing up the budget amendment and prepping for the end of the fiscal year.
Thank you. Mike?
Summer rec will begin next week. This will include baseball and softball for kids kindergarten through 5th grade, and for golf for the same grades. I think golf is 3rd through 5th. 106 kids signed up so far, 58 boys, 35 girls, and 13 kids for golf. Jesse Strong is again the director this year, and he's going to be assisted by Riley Benort, Dylan Wiggins, Caitlin Lockhorst, and Peyton Sweesaw. Swimming pool opens Monday. Everything at the pool is mechanically sound. We added the new sand filters this year, then found out we needed a new water heater. It's not a normal in-home water heater, so obviously anything with that is expensive, so we've done that as well. Jalen Blankenship will return as manager with Emma McManaman as her assistant. We have 7 full-time lifeguards and 6 part-time certified lifeguards. Continue to work with Allers Law Firm, Consortia Consulting, Oak Hill Consulting, Premier Communications, and Long Lines to prepare for the public vote on the sale of our telecommunications utility in September. We're trying to get everybody the information they need to make that happen. Travis is in Omaha today, or Council Bluffs today, for a Clayton Energy Conference. I know one of the topics they're going to be talking about is the gas spike price we had in February, and Bill Lindley was going to try to come up with other scenarios to try and keep that from happening, where we can buy closer to 95 to 99% of our gas instead of 85 like we've been doing. And then in June, we'll be attempting to have one meeting. It'll be June 9, unless something comes up in the telecom realm for the second meeting in June. The plan was to go to one meeting a month, but once the telecom thing came in, that might throw that out the window. So that is it.
Okay, thank you, and thanks for those meetings with those people involved, all of that. We'll do council comments next, and then we'll get to other agenda items and a motion for that. Any comments from council? Okay, Mr. Pickner would like us to amend the agenda. Someone want to make a motion for that?
So moved. Second.
Okay, moved by Tim, seconded by Rob, that we put on the agenda 7B. Is that fine, Mr. Pickner? Can that be under a consent agenda?
It's fine with me.
Okay. That authorizes the mayor and city administrator to work on that paperwork and get that completed for
To release mortgages that
release
are outdated.
mortgages. Okay. And a motion and a second to amend the agenda, so that'll be at 7B. All in favor of amending the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That'll be down on 7B when we get there. Thank you. We'll move to agenda item number 3. Brad, welcome again.
Wow.
Come on up. I have not.
Takes about an hour in most council meetings I go to.
I have not checked that microphone. Is it on? Corey, would you check that for us, please?
Now, okay, there we go.
Good, thank you.
Good evening. Here to talk about the toters. Looking forward to the toters. I hope you all are looking forward to the toters as well. Main reason I'm here is to, I'd kind of like to discuss and hear some thoughts on using the previous toters that some people own right now. I think there's approximately 150 of them. And I see it being a headache. And I see it being a headache to start as far as for us implementing the cans and delivering around town. Who's got one, who doesn't have one? We bring one to the wrong house. We got to pick it up from that house. I see it being a problem once the program implemented. for one thing, when I own the containers, I prefer to own all my containers, my dumpsters, my toters, everything. And the reason why is so when my guys ruin them, when they smash them, when they bounce it on the curb, when they knock the wheels off them, I pay for it, I fix it. Now, them containers are supposed to last for 10 years for sure. I think a lot of them in town are probably at that age. And as plastic gets brittle as it gets older. So come wintertime when I grab one and squeeze it, and if it does crack, if this is an existing customer that has one, he's going to say, that thing was perfectly good before you touched it. And now you ruined it and it's worthless. So I want a new one, and I don't want to pay that rent that the new one should occur, the $1 a month. Now, to try to solve this problem, I know some people say, well, I bought this thing and it's got value and what I'm going to do with it. I would be willing to buy them back from them people. Now, that's how serious I am about trying to solve this problem and not having it create a bigger problem. So I said to Mike I would be willing to pay $10 a piece for them people that would want to get rid of it. But I would actually go to $12, so that'd be 1 year's rent that they'd get out of that container if they wanted to give it back. So, I mean, I don't know how long most of them people, I think some of them people possibly never had to pay a penny for them. They, you know, the company that they originally purchased them from probably went out of business before they had paid them. I don't know how they had it set up. I have no idea. But also aesthetics. One of the reasons we're doing this is to try to make things look better. And I hope with the nice blue cans, they'll all be recycling. So when my drivers come, they may get to a cul-de-sac and they'll just take a glance. Is there anything down there that's blue? And if, you know, I guess they're supposed to, after a while, figure that out. That, well, there's one gray one way at the end over there that we got to watch for. But different things. So I just, do you folks have any feedback on them things that I'm saying? Also, they're really not my cans. I don't know if people purchased them or if they rented them. I mean, Kay's still in litigation with the bank. There's an ongoing litigation, so I guess theoretically someday she could come back and say, I want my can.
I had to purchase mine.
Yeah, I did
Purchase
too.
yours?
We had to purchase it
Okay.
for $75. So
$75. See, I never sell cans, ever. I have not sold one can, and I own thousands of them. I probably own 9,000 of them. I've never sold one. That's one of the reasons that's a cardinal rule. You never sell toters. I mean, if the cities want to buy all of them themselves, that's an option that some cities have taken to do. But most of the time, it's either the hauler or the city, but they usually never have the homeowner do them.
Would the homeowner work with the city or with you directly to get that
Well,
exchanged in, or what's
We
the
would have to,
process?
if that was agreed on, the $12, we would have to have a drop spot, and it'd have to probably be at a city building somewhere, and there would probably have to be certain days that they could bring them there or something, and keep track of them, and then the city would pay them, and I would reimburse the city when I picked them up. And what I would do with them is I would probably take them and grind the name off them and put my sticker on them, and they would go. I have communities that have yard waste pickup, and I'd bring them there because yard waste pickup basically destroys them in 3 to 4 years because the grass is so heavy, and I would just cycle them through, and they would slowly just disappear.
I know we've talked about it before. I think from a clerical perspective, if we just start clean, it's going to be easier for our staff. But with that being said, however the council wants to proceed with that, we'll make work. It's just going to be easier for us record keeping initially to start clean. I do understand what Brad is saying about we don't know what kind of shape all the toters are in. I mean, everybody at the table that's got one, they may be in great shape, but there may be some that aren't as good a shape. And if he does break them, we know that that'll upset people. So
I think there's approximately 150 in town. That's a guess. So
there is quite a few.
there's 900 homes in town, and for us to deliver them, when we deliver them, we'll have 3 or 4 trailers going. We'll have one set spot where we'll put them all together. There'll be 4 or 5 individuals putting together, and there'll be 3 trailers with a driver and a guy on a trailer setting them off at every house as fast as we can. So to tell these drivers, okay, 3rd Street Southwest, 105 3rd Street Southwest owns one. And then this street, this address and that address, and it's just going to be it's going to be tough. I basically, I would almost have to deliver one to every home, and then come back in the next week or two and try to pick up 150 of them, as the people say, I don't need it, I don't want it, Or I'd have to do it, the delivery, on 2 separate Fridays when they do that route, the recycle route, so I could deliver them, and we would have to tell the people that that container would have to be out on that day with recycling in it. We'd have to implement the garbage ones this month, and maybe the recycle ones the next month. I'm really at a loss of how I can make this happen and all function properly with that many toters out there in town.
Certainly, I know some folks might not be able to, for your conversation, but not be able to bring their toter somewhere. We can get some volunteers to ride around and pick up someday.
Yeah, I mean, if they would call us, we would get them.
Pick
We
'em
would
up
get
or
them picked
whatever,
up.
so.
Because if somebody has one that's not mobile.
Start.
And I'd be willing to do that too. I mean, you don't have to send your guys out. I mean, I have a guy that every Monday, that's all he does, is deliver toters, whether it's here, the Dakota Dunes, Primgar, Ireton, wherever, Hospers, Alton, Orange City. That's his job. So if there's people that can't deliver them, I prefer they deliver them. Or, truthfully, out of 150 of them, I'll bet there's going to be 25 people that want the $12, if that. Because he paid 75, he believes it's really worth 55 yet. It's and someone else will say, well, I want to keep it for hauling my grass to the grass pile. Or somebody else will say, I'm going to keep it to put my dog food in it, in the garage, or whatever. There's just a lot of different uses you can do for them, but I have a feeling that there ain't going to be that many people that want the $12. Yeah. Now, if I said 75, they'd all jump up, wouldn't they? But that's quite a bit more than I even pay for them, so.
Inflation,
Yeah,
it's worth 80.
Should we give
What's
Mike
that?
some?
I say with inflation, it's worth 80.
Yeah, there we go. But I guess we'll do whatever we have to do. It's going to be a logistics nightmare, I'm afraid.
Yep. I would be in favor of, I want to thank you for offering to be able to recycle these containers, but would be in favor of everybody getting the same and either repurposing their other ones or getting them sold back to you.
Other thoughts?
Yeah, just to get everybody on board with recycling, I think it's worth it to go through it. Some people will be mad, but they'll get over it.
It's just
Sorry.
a little bump, just to kind of get us on the right track, but
Gonna have a nice new toter.
Yeah, and they'll all be nice and blue and they say recycling on the lid so people will know what they're for. And
They all got different numbers on them.
Yes, they do, yep.
So
yep.
each homeowner have a certain number for the.
Yeah, if they want to keep track of the number, they can. Actually, all the garbage containers and the recycled containers have a computer chip in them. If I wanted to get a program, I could get a program that said where every one. So when someone says, oh, I lost it, and I say, well, your cabin at the lake shows there's one in the backyard, then you know where it's at.
And
And actually, what that's for is someday recycling could get to the point, and they were hoping, right now it's kind of stumbling, recycling is, to where the truck would have a scale on it, it'd read that chip on there, and people would be credited for the amount they recycle in a year.
Do you have those stickers you put on them that says what you can recycle?
No, I don't have a sticker, but the landfill does give out brochures that the city office has and stuff.
I've seen them on the top of some, in some towns.
That can be an insert maybe in
Yep.
one of the early mailers.
We do put stickers on the cans, for the first couple weeks. I just started a community, Merrill, Iowa. For the first 2 weeks, we sent a pickup out the day of the route ahead of the driver, and he moved cans properly, set them properly. If they were by a telephone pole, he moved them, and he put a sticker on it that said, please keep it away from objects. And we put arrows on them to face the right direction. And we did that for 2 weeks to try to train the people, because there is a few little growing pains with implemented like that, toters. So we work with it, try to get it. And we have an orange arrow we put on it. Now, there's some places we've put 3 arrows on it, and it's still backwards the next time. So then we have to leave it stand after that,
Well, hopefully we're a one-arrow town.
yeah.
And then I think at the last meeting I explained about like the extra garbage tag. If people have extra, they can buy a tag. And we're looking at implementing it if it works. Like we were thinking the first week of July, but the 4th of July is right the first week of July, so that's kind of tough to do. So we're thinking the 2nd or 3rd week of July, depending on when the toters show up. And if I put them in the 2nd week of July, the billing would start till August, so.
So would we be able to give them a choice of a 65 or a 95 for their garbage, or is that something that we have to decide?
That's something
Two.
that you guys are gonna have to decide. Brad had talked to me about that, about some homes have an exorbitant amount of garbage, and he didn't know if it'd be enough for a 65. But on the other hand, I think I would hope if they recycled, we could get them down to a 65 and, buy a tag. If we went to a 95 for garbage, it would be $4 more, but it would also not encourage recycling as much. So it's just 2 different ways to look at it. In the next agenda item in the ordinance, I got an option for a 95 garbage and a 95 recycling. But if council chooses they don't want to do that, we'll pass it with that crossed out.
See, there are some homes that will have more than one family living in it. There may be homes that have 2 families living. And then they may want possibly 2 65s. So then they have to pay that initial base price and everything. So if you have more garbage, you pay more. That's one advantage of a toter over unlimited, what they have right now. There's really no limit at all. So there's really no reason to recycle. There's no encouragement, I should say,
But having the smaller garbage would allow for
yeah.
that
I'd like to
encouragement.
stay at
Say
the
it's
smaller garbage and start there.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
I
if we
think
need
it
to
would force
reevaluate,
you.
we need to, but there's plenty of places that have 2 or 3 65-gallon totes out and they never recycle,
Right.
So-
Now they would have that option to do that too. Yep.
or the encouragement, hopefully.
Correct. I would agree.
Any other questions for Brad while he is with us?
Just about
So recycling, when you put the cardboard, do you really want that all just pieces of cardboard in the container, or do you want it like in a box of all the cardboard together? Or
Well, if
newspaper all in one box together?
they buy a 65-inch TV, they can afford $1. If they want to put that box out by the recycling and put this tag on it, it'll disappear. If you can afford a 65-inch TV, you can afford $1 tag. And if it's smaller cardboard and you break it down, you can put it inside there.
Yeah, but I'm just curious of whether you want to put it together. Do you tie anything, or do you ever want anything, like all the little pieces of paper and stuff when we recycle that?
No, all in the toter, that's fine.
Doesn't
Yep.
matter.
It can be
that
mixed, yeah.
Yeah, no, it'll,
Can be, yeah,
Now-
They sort that out over
sort it
there.
there.
yeah, oh, that way you mean?
Yeah, I'm just
No,
wondering if
that's-
it helps them if you put it in a bag or
Nope,
anything.
nope. It all goes on a big conveyor and,
Doesn't matter.
nope, doesn't matter, nope.
Yep.
Mike, do you have questions or comments with or for Brad or for
So
council?
kind of from what I'm hearing, we want to go with new toters, starting whenever he can implement them. The Independence Waste ones, they'll have the option to repurpose them or sell them to Warren City Sanitation for $12. And this is more for the next one, but we want to go with 65 garbage, 95 recycle.
Yep.
And not offer the option of 95 garbage.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
But can they buy two if they do have two, like a duplex
Then they
or
would pay
something?
more
Since,
for that.
I'm just saying, yeah, but we should have that where you can have two 65s if you got two houses in, or two families in a duplex.
Right.
You know, I don't want to discriminate at all, but there are some Latino families that probably have two families living in a home. And there's probably more than one home that's that way.
Yeah.
And it'll be tough for them to get by on a 65. You know, they'll be buying quite a few of these tags. So,
But could a household buy
An extra.
an extra garbage?
oh, definitely.
and they could have
Yes,
two.
if they want another 65,
Yep.
they definitely can do that.
So how do
Would
you
that
do-
be another $2, or would that be,
Oh, that would, if,
that would be or how would you figure that?
well, that would be, see, how most communities we have is the 65 is the base price. And a 90 would be 30 gallons more a week, correct? That would be the same as buying one of these every week. So it'd be $4 more. Now, if they just wanted the 90 only and no 65, it'd just be $4 more plus the base price that the 65 is. Now, if they wanted two 65s, you should pay the $1 more for the rent of the toter, and then you should pay actually $2 a week because it's 60 gallons more. So that should be $8, $9 more a month for another 65. And that encourages them to recycle. They say, well, I can either pay $9 more a month or I can recycle.
And from my point of view, I don't know about Jim, but I'm sitting here thinking, how do we write all of these different options into an ordinance?
Yeah.
There's a ton of scenarios, and
Well,
it gets somewhat confusing.
I can give you a couple, I can email you a couple of cities what they have, you know.
I'm okay with starting with 65 and 95, and if we need to adjust it down the road, we'll adjust it down the
Or
road.
they need to buy stickers for their,
Yep.
for.
So we can reevaluate this in 2 months if we want. So,
It would help them estimate how many extra bags per week they had if they just wanted to go to a 90 or an additional
Right.
container. So
Get it started and see how it goes.
I think so, I think it's a
Yep.
good start.
Yeah, and basically why I was here was to discuss, because I have to put the number into the manufacturer that's making them by the end of this month. They want to know the number that,
Sounds good.
so that's why I'm debating the 150 whether.
Yep.
So it sounds like we'll move that way then.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you very much, and
Thank you.
I think you'll very much like them, I believe.
Good, thank you so much. Agenda item number 4 would be a first reading and second reading of ordinance 730. Mike, just a preference, we had this last month and our last meeting and it just had a wrong number in it?
We had this last meeting, and actually what it pertained to was if we went to a 95-gallon solid waste, we had $2 extra in there, and in talking to Brad, it should be $4 extra. But it sounds like we want to, can we leave that in there just in case we do it?
Yeah, we could leave it in just in case. People are probably gonna start asking for it. It's kinda like,
If it's in there.
well, yeah, it's kinda like Corey was talking about a dog ordinance change, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You got it in there, somebody bugs you about it. I mean, you know, we're really, couldn't we just come back and waive at the next meeting, go through first, second, and third? Because all we're doing is just making a
Yeah.
minor change.
And actually, if we're looking at not implementing till August,
We'd have
which it
time
sounds
to-
like, we've got time to maybe waive a second, do a first, waive a second, and then pass the third in July. So we should still be okay.
I mean, we've been beating the subject up
Yeah.
plenty here. I don't think we're hiding anything from the public.
No, and I think it's encouraging tonight. We at least have a path. We just gotta know how we're gonna
But the
write it.
ordinance will reflect what this council's preference is,
Yes,
correct? Okay.
yes.
Is there a motion then to table agenda item number 4? Is that, you want it tabled?
Yeah, I think so. I think we just come back with it written the way it's gonna be final, and, I mean, either somewhere along the line you waive so it's done in time.
So moved.
You know, either all three or one or whatever it turns out.
Motion by Travis to table agenda item number 4 for clarification for the next meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Tim. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you. Thanks we're thankful for Brad to get this going. It's really a good thing for our community. Agenda item number 5, a public hearing for the fiscal year 2021 budget amendment. At this time, I will open the public hearing. Anyone wish to make comment here? Any comments directed to the city?
None.
Okay. I will close the public hearing, which moves us to Resolution 2021-22, which is the approval of the fiscal year 21 budget amendment. Is there a motion for that resolution?
So moved.
Moved by John, seconded by Travis. Or was it Tim?
Whoever.
To my right.
You pick.
Tim seconded, thank you. Sorry.
No problem.
Roll call vote, please, for Resolution 2021-22.
Bergsma.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Huckey.
Aye.
Feldhacker.
Aye.
Kurth.
Aye.
I did hear all of that. That passes 5-0 on a roll call vote. Agenda item number 6 is the Resolution 2021-23, adopting the salaries for the appointed officers and employees for the fiscal year 22. We're starting a 5-year again.
First year of a 5-year agreement with the union. It comes out to about 2.5% per year.
Is there a motion for Resolution 2021-23?
So moved.
Moved by John. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Jen. Roll call vote for Resolution 2021-23.
Kurth.
Aye.
Huckey.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Feldhacker.
Aye.
Bergsma.
Aye.
On a 5-0 roll call vote, Resolution 2021-23 passes. Consent agenda items, a request from Maria for the Paradise Bar and liquor license transfer to the Hawarden Community Center on Saturday, June the 26th. And also, as we mentioned, city attorney wanting us to have 7B, authorize the mayor and city administrator to close and release on
Mortgages.
mortgages.
Time has expired.
So moved.
Been a motion by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Jen. All in favor of the consent agenda item, say aye.
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 Those opposed? That passes 5-0. Our next regular meeting will be June the 9th.
June 9.
Any other business? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Travis, seconded by John. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
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 Those opposed? City Council is adjourned. Thank you.